Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Lorrie and this is We Are Quilters. Today is Friday Blabfest. You might hear Honey is having a little bit of a bark. Oh, summertime. My hair is brought to you by humidity. Oh, and here's Honey to help. Please get off my cutting table. Thank you. There was a big dog that she had not seen walking in front of the picture window. And so now she must bark. Are you okay now? She's okay now. Maybe. So she's going to hang out and be our honey bunny helper on the back of the sofa overlooking my sewing room. Let's talk about the 8 little topics for today. Topic number 1, block parade. On Monday, I started a double herringbone block and I showed you my practice block. And then I made another one with you on camera, step by step. And I said, oh, I might add to this. Well, I had a lot of open space and I did add to it. This is what I came up with. Isn't this fantastic? This adds a whole nother dimension to this block. We had guests this week, my sister and brother-in-law and my great niece. They brought me fabric, so we did some what my 4-year-old niece calls sorts, and we played with fabric. And we got together a little sewing box for her to take home all the way back to Delaware. So let me share some pictures that my sister took while we played sorts, is what my niece calls it. We had lots of fun, and if things didn't fold the way she wanted to, we trimmed them down to smaller blocks. We had a great time. The other thing that Sadie really wanted to do while she was here was go fishing with Uncle Dan. So here are a couple pictures of her catching fish that were released back into the lake. Also a great time. Normally I don't show little travel snippets, but since we have had company, we've been taking them to some places here in Michigan. We went to the Taconamanon Falls. Taquamanon Falls, says Dan, in the Upper Peninsula. Here are a few pictures. They have taken out the stairs down to the viewing platform and are putting in an ADA compliant ramp so that when it is open, it will be easier than going down and up those 94 metal steps that used to be there. We also went to the lighthouse over in Tawas Bay. We took guests out toward Traverse City and Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeside and discovered that the big observation deck had been removed there for the same reason. The national park is putting in an ADA compliant access, I guess you would say rail, to the big sand dune overlook. But amazing views of Lake Michigan. We only have, let me look at this, the door, behind the door for this week and next week yet to go. Here is behind the door B7 footage. Here it is, a piece of green fabric. This is going back in the stash to be used for something. I think it's Moto Marble. The yard sale treasures I'm going to show you today are fabric that my sister brought. She bought 2 nice sized totes with larger sized chunks of fabric for a grand total of $5, including the nice totes to keep them clean and fresh smelling. Here they are. Sometimes when I'm not sewing, I do some, well, I don't know if you'd call it gardening, more like decorating in the yard. My son got me a fantastic mushroom for in the garden, a planter, so I moved the fairy reading a book right next to it, and I have some other little decorations in the yard. Let me share those with you right here. The deer pretty much keep everything trimmed back, so I don't have to worry about trimming flowers ever, even things that are deer resistant. Last week I started sharing a magazine with you. Here is another installment of that magazine from 2006 that is absolutely packed with articles and information and patterns. Enjoy. More of the Quilters magazine, Quilters newsletter magazine from September of 2006. Last week we looked at this quilt. There are more articles. This magazine is so packed with stuff. I wish that newer magazines would take a hint. So my other job is the name of the article, and they have botanists and aerospace engineers and physicians and pediatricians, which is a physician, architects, geologists, veterinary pathologists. They seem to have forgotten nurses and teachers, and I think that we make up a big part of the quilting community. I haven't read all this article yet. Maybe they snuck it in there somewhere. I don't know. But I think we should all be, nurses and teachers should be pictured. Just saying. This article is by Paula Nadelstern, and she does fantastic quilts. Most of her work is done by the fabric, and just flipping in there. So this was probably back in the beginning when she was just thinking of it. And she said, in her article, she says choosing the fabric with bold things is the trick. And she uses template plastic to match up the parts and pieces so that as she's cutting them, they have a kaleidoscope effect. And I love kaleidoscopes. I mean, here I have one. This one is a kid's toy, but it's one of those ones, anything you look at can be a kaleidoscope type pattern. Yard sale. And it has some little numbers on it. It doesn't have a brand, but I've shown you kaleidoscopes before because I am fascinated by them. So she takes that kaleidoscope effect to a whole new level with beautiful blocks. I mean, that's a flying goose and the center square. Same with the variable star and the background. Beautiful, beautiful blocks that are very simple and basic. There it is. And then they have some natural placemats with flowers and leaves. And it looks like that fabric that if you let it in the sun, and some tree fabric and flowers. Great fabric. And, well, I guess they're not all placemats. This is 14 by 14. It doesn't have a lot of information about all of them. Well, maybe it does right here. So some of them are as big as 63 by 39. And beautiful batiks or hand-dyeds, but very nice quilts to look at, very colorful. This one looks so scrappy happy to me. They all look scrappy happy. Clockwise from top left. So if we start here, the cul-de-sac, Daylilies at Dawn, 77 by 57 from 1999. Lavender in a Lightning Storm. That makes sense with those rows of offset strips. Spring Thaw at Longs Park, 14 by 14. 5 Days Last Fall, 86 by 63. Tall Blue Lettuce, 47 by 37. That is some big lettuce. So, very nice quilts with a nature theme. And that is all from this week. 2 things to think about. Beautiful quilts, beautiful examples. Hope you enjoyed. This week, and this is our favorite part, viewer contributions. There are several. Here they are. Our first lovely quilt of the day was made by Diana. It is a Christmas present for our grandson. Guess what he likes? Dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs too. Here's a close-up of some of the fabric. Diana has also made some pot holders from leftover scraps. She likes to make them between 8 and 9 inches with 3 layers, one of them in the very middle of Insulbright. She is donating these pot holders to her family reunion bingo game. Next up, we have some handwork by Anne. I love the little motifs on this red work. All sorts of little sewing motifs, tape measure, pin cushion, scissors. So cute. This piece is made from scraps that Anne sewed to a base, and then she did all kinds of embellishments all over it. I know that she later made this into a cute little pouch, but this is how it all starts. Anne also sent a picture of the tumbleweed block from her Study in Scarlet block collection. Very cute, nice fabrics, very subtle and soft. Diana and Ann, thank you for sharing your work. It inspires us all. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this little Blabfest about quilts and some other things that you do in the summertime. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday for some more embellishments on Upskill Monday. Get it? Thank you for watching.